speaking of friends, kia ora, bro.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Welcoming Justin Smith to the studio. Last week, we were talking about Temu.
Online shopping with there's somewhat of a focus on Temu, inevitably.
Well, it is. I think that's how they. Gosh, I've no idea how they make money actually, but let's not revisit last week because it can be one of the negative things, apart from driving bricks and mortar businesses to the wall. Online shopping at a personal level can be a bit of a problem, a little bit of an addictive, compulsive behaviour. I mean, here's an opportunity. I've invited you into the studio. This is an intervention. Time to confess.
For my wife? On
I don't
behalf,
know.
is this a
look,
proxy?
you can confess on behalf of anybody that you want to throw under the bus. We're live on air, so go where you want to go, man.
No, online shopping. Yeah, it is a great segue because like we last week we honed in on something, which was that the discounts that the likes of Temu, Shein, and just all of these low-cost, online retailers have.
Yeah.
It's the price of convenience.
Mm-hmm.
But coupled with that is, on the other end, as a consumer, when you're engaging with those websites, and Temu, I mentioned, does this phenomenally well, is they captivate your attention, keep you on the platform, and they especially have gamified the experience of shopping online.
Yeah.
And so you get these things at an incredible price point, but you actually have this sensation of, oh, this is fun, this is enjoyable.
Yeah.
And that's, up
Pushing
at
all the dopamine endorphin buttons.
Totally. And that's right at the top end. Even the act of just shopping online itself can become addicting.
I mean, retail therapy is a thing, right?
Totally.
Hey, if you're having a bad day, go buy some shoes. Go hit a mall, do that. I mean, that's how we did it back in the day.
Yeah.
And apparently, people are still doing that. If you can do that in your PJs, I mean, I know people wear their PJs to the mall, but that's a different topic. But if you can do that in your home without having to go out at all, you get the dopamine hit. You don't even have to try and find a park.
Yeah, that's it. And this is that's the cost of, the price of convenience. The cost of convenience is not having to engage in all of those things.
Yeah.
But the really tricky thing is for our reward mechanisms, they tend not to be quite so effective and substantial when you haven't had to work at all for it, right? There has to be some level of, I don't want to call it suffering, but challenge. You have to overcome something in order for that, payoff to actually have long-lasting effects. Otherwise, it just disappears immediately.
Or you could buy something else. Or you could go, well, you know what? They've got this special offer at the moment, and if I buy it right now, they're going to give me this free stuff, which I also don't need. But I'm saving money, and I got to click on this thing. And look, I don't know if it's your experience, but it's very rare when you're on a binge, when you're on a website, that you go, no, I'm just going to go to this site and I'm going to buy the thing I need, and that's all I'm going to do. It's like going into the supermarket for bread and milk and coming out with a trolley load.
Yeah.
The online shopping experience
is designed.
One click isn't enough.
No.
You got to keep shopping, right?
Yeah, and it's designed that way. And I mentioned last week in our discussion that I've worked in e-commerce for a huge part of my career.
Yeah.
And we would do these things by design because naturally that's the thing that when you operate an e-commerce platform, the thing you are trying to achieve as a business is a conversion. And the level to which we have a look at data and the way people use websites and really help to make that whole experience of getting to a conversion as efficient as possible would blow your mind. And I don't think people, that in fact, again, by design, it's designed not to actually, show up in your face that, this is actually, I'm being sort of funneled here.
I'm being manipulated. Basically, we're trying to trick as much money out of you as possible so that you buy stuff that you don't actually need, so that we get more clicks than the other guy, so that we stay in business, because we're competing with Temu, and it's pretty hard out there.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's really a tough one, but I think the scary level of detail to which we go. I mean, color theory is a great example. If you have a green button that says, hey, check out, that's going to perform much better than a red button, which just the color. Yeah, well, the color, right? Green means go, red means stop. So when you see a red button that's, saying, hey, it's time to check out and pay for this thing, you want to make sure that button's green, not red.
Ah, my goodness, so sneaky.
Oh, it's not sneaky. It's
Well,
just, yeah, exactly. It's just science.
It's as sneaky as your local supermarket, honestly, who are doing similar things, but you got to find a park, to be fair. Now, look, we're having a bit of fun with this, but there is a serious side to this. We're in an economic crisis where people are finding it difficult to take the money that they've got and buy the things that they need. Is there an aspect of this which is not just commerce, it's predatory? It's drug dealer behavior.
Ooh. The unfortunate reality is yes, but I think in the way that these things have been designed to naturally thrive in that climate is what I would lean towards, because when you have the luxury and the privilege of choice, it's easy enough to go, let's take the supermarket example. I'm happy to buy the free range chicken. And I know that option's available to me, but I'm in a position where I can absolutely continue to, pay more for the thing that I have a value alignment with. However, when the climate changes and that squeeze comes on, you actually are forced into looking at and engaging with, going back to the online shopping example, I am forced now into this really pervasive, bottom of the barrel, cost-saving online shopping experience.
But because there's also something about this which is quite predatory, because for people who are doing it tough, for people that are thinking, you know what, I'm not coping in my life at the moment, I don't have enough money to feed my whānau, that sometimes that does drive people towards addictive behavior, such as gambling, such as alcohol and drug use. And honestly, we've got to put this one in the same bucket. That it is the people that can least afford to overspend online that often are the people that end up in that trap.
And especially because the likes of, say, a Temu, I mean, one I saw the other day was a pack of guitar picks, 20 guitar picks, $1.20 for 20 guitar picks. Now, they retail for $1.20 per pick, at a store in New Zealand. And having the ability to, purchase a whole pack at that price while also being partnered with, this gamified experience where there's progress bars and literal rewards for engaging with the platform is incredibly predatory. Yes. And we do need to be looking out for those people, because half the time they're searching for the endorphin hit, and the other half of the time they're just not even aware that actually it's death by 1,000 cuts, that it is only $1.20, so it's totally fine. Well, yes, when you're doing that 20, 30 times because you're feeling the need to have some.
I'm saving so much money on guitar picks that I can buy 8 other things.
Exactly. It's just, and that's where they get you.
And I just want to say, bro, how many guitars do you have that you need 20 guitar picks? I mean,
my son's actually stolen all my guitars. I've been left with one.
Okay, well, you just need one pick. Just saying, you just got to make sure that you can find it when you need it in that regard. Just wanting to wrap up with a bit of a question on this, because there's been some talk more broadly about some predatory behavior on the internet by Silicon Valley companies. Look, we put health warnings on cigarettes with pictures of people's rotting lungs and all that type of stuff. We put some restrictions on the sale of alcohol. Other addictive things are either age restricted, or the support groups, or there's some type of mechanism in place to help people who really struggle in the area of addiction. If this is recognized as being an addictive, potentially destructive behavior, where's the health warnings? Should we have them?
That's a great question. I mean, to lean into a discussion that we've had about AI, for example, we're starting to see that happen where things are getting labeled as created with or manipulated with, AI. Should we have the same thing about, these addictive platforms and online engagement mechanisms? And me personally, yes. However, that attacks the fundamental nature of those platforms, so it's not likely to happen. However, the things that they are putting in place is definitely worth another discussion about remarketing and what social media are doing and what they know about you in order to do those things, and the things that they are doing quietly to make that a bit more transparent, that a lot of people don't actually know is available to them. You can go and have a look at all of that stuff. So we'll talk about that another time. But yes, we should definitely.
I think that's worth another conversation. And honestly, when I was addicted to smoking, a picture of somebody else's lung on the packet didn't stop my addiction.
Yeah.
that wasn't the tipping point. And hey, if a man needs 20 guitar picks, I'm not sure a pop-up box is going to stop him from making that purchase. Justin, thanks for your time today.
Anytime.
Hey, thanks very much for joining us in the Rhema studio. Thanks very much for watching the interview. It's kind of nice to have an audience, actually. And if you did like what you watched, then do give us a like, do give us the thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more interviews like that one, or perhaps even better, subscribe and those interviews will come straight to you. Don't forget to turn on your notifications, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.